Einstein.
य एष सुप्तेषु जागृति य एष सुप्तेषु जागृति कामं 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 कामपुरुषो पुरुषो निर्विमाणः निर्विमाणः तदेव शुक्रदब्रह्मा तद्ब्रह्मा तदेवामृतमुच्यते अस्मिन् लोकः शतः सर्वे तदूनात्यपि कश्चन एतद्वैता 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 एतद्वैता.
Yeah. So, friends, we're starting with the session, and chairman of the most vibrant region of the entire country, C. Ketan Sayya sir in absentia. Sir is actually traveling today and will be joining very soon. Regional Council member, C. Mangesh Khanekar ji, a very good friend of mine. Speaker of today's session, C. Sumit Kapure ji, who has agreed to take this session on a single call. Thank you so much, Sumit ji, for sparing out your valuable time. Volunteer Nandini, Team WICASA, and all my dear friends. A warm welcome to you all on this second session, which is actually ninth session in the Gyan Yagna series, but the second one when it comes to RERA. And this is very important one because today the speaker, Mr. Sumit Kapure ji, will be covering the registration process. Friends, RERA, as we yesterday also discussed, is very important as a law. And after it has come, the real estate has become a commodity. So there are people now who can actually say buy real estate, not even visiting the say land or not even visiting that particular property, because it has been commoditized so much that there are set of rules and standards that are to be followed by the developers, and that makes it really lucrative as an investment. Friends, registration under RERA is yet another important topic, and I think today's topic will be dealt in very detailed one by Sumit ji. Friends, Sumit ji has been actually, he was inquiring kitna cover karu, what all time I have, but I think Sumit ji, you can take sufficient time. We have almost like 90 minutes with us, along with the question and answers. So you take your time, deliberate it in very detail, and I believe that participants who are here wish to understand the every nitty-gritty of this particular topic, that is registration. Friends, tomorrow also we'll be having one more session in this series, which is actually post-registration compliances. And day after tomorrow, we'll be having a session which is a CA certification. So I think with these words, I wish to conclude, and I request everyone to please stay updated with the efforts of WICASA. We have Chairman sir also, he has joined up. And so before he addresses, we have Mangesh Khanekar sir, and I'll request Mangesh sir to please take charge. He's an expert on RERA, he's practicing in RERA, so he can definitely put more insight when it comes to RERA. So Mangesh ji, over to you.
Thank you, Jiten bhai. So it is a very apt subject in today's world, because anybody who wants to practice in the real estate space, or wants to do a job, or even if not so, real estate is such an important topic in our day-to-day lives that somewhere or the other it we touch upon real estate in some way or the other. So it is very important, and I congratulate you, Jiten Bhai, first to have this topic for the Vikasa students for their knowledge enhancement. Honorable Chairman of WIRC, the most vibrant chairman I have seen in the past many years, CA Ketan Sayya sir. Thank you for joining in. See what can I say about today's speaker? He's a very dear friend of mine. He comes from the same city, Thane, where I reside, and I have got the opportunity not just interact with him, but also practically work with him on certain projects. So he is a perfect person who can guide all of us through the topic today. And in fact, the timing of this particular session is so important that in the last 2 weeks or so, 3 weeks before, the RERA authority has relaunched their new portal, wherein the registrations have started in the new portal. So it is a very good opportunity for all of us to know about the registration process in the new portal, as well as transitioning from the old portal to the new portal. So I am looking forward to hearing from Sumit sir's lecture, and I don't want to take much time out from his, because he has a lot of time. He will need a lot of time to cover. So I will just request Chairman sir to say a few words, address and inspire the audience, and then we can move on to our main job, that is to listen to Sumit sir's lecture. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mangesh bhai. Vikasa Chairman Jitendra ji from Nagpur, the worthy speaker Sumit bhai from Thane, our today's coordinator Nandini madam, volunteer of Vikasa, and the all dear students who are attending this fantastic Gyan Ganga on the second series of the real estate program, which is happening since yesterday. And I think, a fantastic topic chosen today. So compliments to the entire Vikasa team led by Jitendra Bhai to choose RERA. Uh, Mangesh Bhai did covered that the entire portal has undergone a change. In fact, we are working and we are talking to RERA authorities. Have invited them here also for discussion and giving them certain suggestion on the the portal, the further simplification of the process, the part of the portal that we are working as a ICI. Nonetheless, I think a very important topic for the student to learn the provisions of RERA, wherein they are regulating the builders and trying and protecting the interest of the buyers, interest of the investors, so that the funds which are coming in for a project should be only utilized for that project. There have been complaint recently when we met the RERA authorities said that there have been complaint that the builders are still using fund for project A into project B or using somewhere else. So I think the entire purpose of controlling and certification is the entire annual return, quarterly return certificates which we are issuing. The objective is to put control on the funds so that the fund which a customer or an investor has given for a project A should be used for the project A only. And that is the basic thing which the builders needs to follow. And we as a chartered accountant need to observe before we give certificate. One of the important concern which RERA authority said that there were certificate issued wherein some people had not seen the bank statement, the escrow account where the fund should have been come. There were generic account where multiple funds, multiple project funds were coming and multiple projects funds were disbursed from a single account. So, very important for articles to learn that. Maybe in my office, if I'm doing a certification, ultimately it will be checked by the article. And I think that is where the today's topic is very, very important to learn that what are the intricacies which we should check before we complete our process of verification for the attestation function which we are doing under RERA. And I'm sure Sumit Bhai will ably lead that and properly explain all of us about the fantastic topic. With this, thank you so much, and handing over back to Jitendra Bhai. Jitendra Bhai, please take it up.
Yeah. Thank you so much, sir, for your kind words. And I'll request Nandini to please introduce the speaker.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our exciting session, Gyan Yagna, Knowledge Beyond Borders. Today, we are going to speak about RERA compliance and opportunities with Mr. Sumit Kapure, who's a chartered accountant. Today, you're in for a real treat. We have with us a speaker who brings textbook knowledge to life and bridges the gap between theory and reality. CA Sumit Kapure, partner at Kapure and Kapure. Sumit sir has carved out a niche in the complex world of real estate regulation. He has led over 500 RERA registrations in Mumbai as well as Pune and actively represents clients before Maharera and Appellate Tribunal. That's real courtroom experience. He provides consultancy to over 200 live real estate projects and is recognized by faculty for 200 for RERA sessions conducted by the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. He also served as the convener for the RERA study group at WIRC of ICI and is a core member of Maharera Bar Association, a professional body of experts who regularly practice before the RERA authorities. In addition, he has contributed to the book Maharashtra RERA Law and Practice, published by Taxman. His chapters cover crucial aspects and making it a valuable resource for professionals and students like us. So, if you ever wondered how the laws you study are actually applied to the field or what exciting career path exists beyond traditional tax and audit, this is your chance to learn from the best. Please join me in welcoming C.S. Sumit Kapure.
So, Sumitji, over to you. Please take charge now.
Thank you. First, share my screen. First of all, thanks a lot to the WICASA chairman, sir, Jitendra sir, for inviting me and giving me this opportunity of knowledge sharing with all of you. Thanks a lot to Ketan sir also, and my dearest friend Mangesh sir, both of them, and Nandini for the nice introduction. So I'll share my screen now and we'll start with the session. If the screen is visible to everybody and my voice is properly audible. If at all my voice is not audible during the session or my screen is not visible, please stop me then and there and try to fix it. So I'll try to briefly cover the provisions that are specifically with respect to the registration process under RERA, and thereafter a brief introduction, a brief explanation towards the quarterly updates and extension of the project. I'll try to cover as much as possible during this given time, and we'll keep last 10-15 minutes for questions and answers. So as far as Maharera is concerned, as far as RERA Act is concerned, I'm given to understand that yesterday we already had an introductory session. So nonetheless, I'll again brief you about what is exactly important about the RERA Act. There are total 92 sections in the RERA Act, out of which section number 3 to section number 10 specifically deals with the registration of real estate project and registration of real estate agents, which are covered or classified under the chapter 2 of the Act. RERA Act, let me tell you again, is a central government act. It is applicable to all over India. States have been given liberty to formulate their own rules and regulations according to their local conditions. So this section 3 to section 10, section 8 will see in detail this later part. I've just summarized it over here. So before moving on to the statutory provisions, it is very important to understand who is liable to register as a real estate project. So there are two conditions which the RERA Act provides. First condition is where the area of the land proposed to be developed does not exceed 500 square meters. And another condition is number of apartments proposed to be developed does not exceed 8, inclusive of all phases. So if any of the real estate project satisfies any of the condition, any condition out of these two conditions, then that particular project is eligible to be exempted from the registration from the RERA authority. So for example, there is a project with the land area of, let's say, 1000 square meter, but the units that are proposed to be developed on that particular land of 1000 square meter are 5. So in that case, the project satisfies the second condition for being eligible for the from the exemption from the registration. That is, apartments proposed to be developed does not exceed 8, inclusive of all phases. Another example where the land area is, let's say, 450 square meter, and number of units that are being developed on that particular land are, let's say, 20. In that case also, the project will be eligible for the exemption from the RERA registration because it satisfies the first condition of land area being does not exceeding 500 square meters. So I'll tell you a short story behind this. ये पहले आइदर और नहीं माना जाता था, ऐसा माना जाता था कि ये दोनों भी कंडीशन सेटिस्फाई होनी चाहिए in order to get exemption from the RERA registration. So in that case, गीतांजलि अमान करके एक case law है, because of which it got established that satisfaction of any of the condition will make the project eligible from exemption from the RERA registration. So in this matter particularly, the land area of the project was less than 500 square meters, but the number of apartments proposed to be developed were exceeding 8. One of the allottees in the project filed complaint with the RERA authority, alleging that the project has to take RERA registration, but the project has not taken RERA registration, ultimately resulting into non-compliance to Section 3 of the Act. So the then chairman of the RERA, Gautam Chatterjee sir, the matter came up before him. In his order, he said nothing doing. These two conditions are cumulative conditions, and if at all any project satisfies both of these conditions, then only the project will be exempted from RERA registration. And he also imposed a penalty on the project, quite a heavy penalty. The promoter, aggrieved by this order, filed an appeal with the appellate tribunal. Appellate tribunal, considering this matter very important, full bench of the appellate tribunal, the then chairman Indira Jain madam, Kole sir, and I don't recollect the name of the other third member, but the 3 members, Sandhu sir. These 3 members, full bench, presided this arguments of both the parties were heard, and finally the decision was given that these conditions are either or condition. These conditions are separated by the word or. Therefore, the lawmakers were of the intention that any of satisfaction of any of the condition will make the project eligible from exemption from RERA registration. But this decision was not unanimous decision. This decision was 2:1. That is 2 members. Indira Jain madam and Sandhu sir were in favor of this either or condition, and Kole sir, he submitted his dissent note to the decision saying that these conditions are cumulative conditions. But as of now, this matter is pending with the Bombay High Court, and as of now, the law of the land is that any of the 2 conditions, satisfaction of any of the 2 conditions will make the project eligible for exemption from RERA registration. Now there are other two conditions also. So the first condition is where the promoter has received completion certificate for a real estate project prior to commencement of this act. So this is a kind of transition provision which was useful when the RERA was first enacted, I mean 1st May 2017 when it fully came into the effect. So it is basically specifically for at that it's a transition provision only. So at the time of commencement of the act, it is 1st May 2017 को जिन जिन प्रोजेक्ट्स के पास completion certificate था, all those projects were eligible to be exempted from RERA registration. And then another condition is for the purpose of renovation or repair or redevelopment, which does not involve marketing, advertising, selling, or new allotment of any apartment, plot, or building, as the case may be under the real estate project. So, in case where there is only a renovation of the property, RERA registration की जरूरत नहीं है. रीडेवलपमेंट है, लेकिन उस रीडेवलपमेंट में मार्केटिंग, एडवर्टाइजिंग, सेलिंग या नया अलॉटमेंट किसी अलॉटी को, ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है, तो इन दैट केस आल्सो RERA registration is not necessary. Okay. Now this phases वाला जो particular condition है, RERA registration can particularly be registered in phases. Let's say there are total 8 buildings in a layout. There are 8 buildings are sanctioned. In that case, a building by building project can also be registered. Group of buildings का project also can be registered. 2 buildings साथ में पहले register कर लिया, बाद में 3 building register किया, as per their plan, as per the sale का response, as per the construction का जो भी उनका plan है, उस हिसाब से registration जो है वो किया जा सकता है. आज से 2-3 साल पहले within one building also more than one registrations RERA used to grant RERA. जैसे कि let's say first floor to third floor commercial है, and from third floor to 25th floor residential है. So it was allowed to take 2 registrations for first to third floor commercial and then 4th to 25 floors residential वाला registration. But as of now, it is not possible. RERA doesn't give more than 1 registrations in one single building. Moving ahead, why this registration is compulsory? What happens if the promoter means developer. If I'm referring a word promoter, that means developer. So this is the phrase or this is the phrase which is used for the developer. So the promoter, अगर उसके पास registration नहीं है, the promoter will not be able to advertise the project, market the project, या फिर project मतलब the units बेच के उसका पैसा लेना जो है, that will also be not possible. So the promoter, no promoter shall advertise, market, book, sell or offer for sale or invite persons to purchase in any manner, any plot, apartment or building as the case may be, in any real estate project or a part of it in any planning area without registering the real estate project with the Real Estate Regulatory Authority established under this Act. Therefore, the promoter has to register his or her project with the RERA authority before undertaking advertisement, marketing or selling of the project. Now, ये मुझे बहुत बार I'm asked this question during the sessions, which is the right point for the registration of the project. So once the commencement certificate, that is a permission to start with the construction of the project, is received, then the project becomes eligible for RERA registration. Now the next question is it compulsory to register the project once the commencement certificate is received? The answer is no. Listen very carefully. The answer is no. Then what is the point of time where the RERA registration is compulsory? So the point of time is before the promoter advertises, markets, books or sells the project. Okay. So मेरे मन में कोई एक प्रोजेक्ट है कि मैं दादर में प्रोजेक्ट करूंगा, मुंबई में प्रोजेक्ट करूंगा, वो प्रोजेक्ट में अभी आज RERA अथॉरिटी के पास रजिस्टर करके रखता हूँ. So that is not happening. You cannot register a project in your dreams. तो कौन सा प्रोजेक्ट रजिस्टर होगा? जिस प्रोजेक्ट के पास कंस्ट्रक्शन स्टार्ट करने की परमिशन है, ऐसा प्रोजेक्ट RERA अथॉरिटी के पास रजिस्टर हो सकता है. तो इन महाराष्ट्र या फिर एज पर UDCPR, usually commencement certificate is the document which gives permission to the promoter to start with the construction of the project. So once this particular document is received from the competent authority, the project is eligible. The project can be registered with the RERA authority, but it is not compulsory to register the project with the RERA. When it becomes compulsory, so when the promoter is going to advertise the project, market the project, going to sell the project in the open market, is going to invite the allottees and collect money from them. So before this happens, the RERA registration is compulsory. So receipt of commencement certificate is a starting point, या फिर eligibility point for the project to register itself with the RERA authority, and the point where the promoter starts advertising and selling the project is the point wherein it is compulsory to register the project with RERA. So बहुत बार क्या होता है, ये दोनों भी जो पॉइंट्स है वो सेम आ जाते हैं. इसके वजह से as soon as the commencement certificate comes, of course the promoter registers the project with the RERA authority in order to start the selling the project. But it's not compulsory to register the project as soon as commencement certificate is received. Okay, so if somebody with the deep pockets says that I am going to construct the 60-70% project with my own money, and after that I'll start selling the project, in that case also, unless the 60-70%, whatever the desired work level is achieved, up to that point of time, it is not obligatory upon the promoter to register the project. Once the promoter starts thinking that the promoter will now advertise the project, sell the project, and will start collecting the money from the people, in that case, yes, the registration is compulsory. Now, to this particular provision, there is a provision. First provision says that provided that projects that are ongoing on the date of commencement of this act, for which the completion certificate has not been issued, the promoter shall make an application to the authority for registration of the said project within period of 3 months from the commencement of this act. So again, this is a transition provision. जो 1st May को जब RERA Act 1st May 2017 को it became fully operational in Maharashtra. So from that date, within 3 months, जो भी ongoing projects थे उनको RERA के पास registration करना compulsory. So it was at that time it was 31st July 2017, which was the last date for registration of the ongoing projects. Ongoing project means ऐसे project जिनका construction का काम चालू है, या फिर ऐसे project जिनको अभी तक completion certificate नहीं मिला as on 1st May 2017. Then second provision says provided further that if the authority thinks necessary in the interest of allottees for the projects which are developed beyond the planning area, but with the requisite permission of the local authority, it may by order direct the promoter of such project to register with the authority, and the provisions of this act or rules and regulations made thereunder shall apply to such projects from that stage of registration. Now, what is this planning area? So planning area is the area within which the RERA Act will become applicable. So as far as Maharashtra is concerned, a planning area is left to be defined by the states. So as far as Maharashtra is concerned, Maharashtra state has defined planning area as whole of Maharashtra. So project virtually में हो, नांदेड़ में हो, पुणे में हो, जलगांव में हो, या थाने में हो, मुंबई में हो, किधर भी हो, if it is not falling within that exemption criteria what I told you earlier, RERA is applicable to that particular project. So बहुत बार ऐसा कहा जाता है कि हमारा प्रोजेक्ट ग्राम पंचायत में इसलिए हमको RERA एप्लीकेबल नहीं है. That is wrong. जिसके पास करेक्ट परमिशन है उसको ही RERA रजिस्ट्रेशन मिलेगा. वैलिड परमिशन जिसके पास है उसको ही RERA रजिस्ट्रेशन will be given. Now we'll go through those sections one by one. Section 4 जो है application for registration of the real estate project. So this particular section specifies the documents that are required for RERA registration application. हम लोग देखेंगे documents भी देखेंगे क्या क्या लगते हैं. But then before that, these documents are defined, specifically given in the section 4. These are further elaborated by way of rules by RERA. Specifically documents कैसे होने चाहिए, क्या होने चाहिए, ये RERA ने already section 4 में बताया है. So most of the documents that are given in section 4 for the RERA registration are common, be that MahaRERA, Guj RERA या कर्नाटक RERA. But then rules जो होते हैं स्टेट्स पे, उन्होंने फर्दर स्पेसिफाई किया है कि कौन से पर्टिकुलर डॉक्यूमेंट्स जो है वो देने चाहिए, या फिर उसको और फर्दर एलाबोरेट किया है. जैसा मैंने आपको बताया कि states are empowered to formulate rules with respect to specified formats for registration. Registration के जो applications है उसके लिए एक स्पेसिफिक जो भी स्पेसिफिक फॉर्मेट देना है, फॉर्म देना है, वो स्टेट्स जो है वो रूल्स के थ्रू डिसाइड कर सकते हैं. तो एज फार एज RERA इज कंसर्न, द 100% प्रोसीजर जो है रजिस्ट्रेशन की वो ऑनलाइन है. जैसा कि चेयरमैन सर ने अभी बताया, उन्होंने डेफिनेटली उन्होंने क्रक्स बताया एक्ट का. ये जो एक्ट ने बोला है इसका ये मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट प्रोविजन है. 70% ऑफ द अमाउंट रिसीव्ड फ्रॉम अलॉटीज मस्ट बी डिपॉजिटेड इन अ सेपरेट रेरा बैंक अकाउंट and must be utilized for the project only. This is the crux. This is very important provision of the RERA Act. I'll just make you understand the mechanism, how it works. I hope this screen is visible. So the, let's say, rupees 100 received from allottees. Now this 70% wala criteria is applicable only to those amounts that are received from allottees. Okay, so allottees का मतलब है फ्लैट बायर्स परचेसर्स. इनके लिए allottees ये टर्म यूज किया है रेरा ने. So whatever the amount that is received from allottees, that has to be routed through RERA separate bank account. Then इसका corollary क्या है? This amount, this particular provision is applicable to only amount that are received from allottees. That means self contributions, that is capital contributions. इसके लिए this provision is not applicable. Loans from financial institutions, उसके लिए भी this provision is particularly not applicable. So it is applicable only for those amounts that are received from allottees. So what will happen once rupees 100 are received from the allottee? It will be automatically divided into two parts, that is 70% and 30%. So rupees 70 will be transferred to this account and rupees 30 will be transferred to another account. Now the account in which rupees 100 are collected is called as a collection bank account. The amount in which 70% amount is collected is called as separate bank account, and the amount in which 30% amount is collected is called as a transaction bank account. I beg for my pardon me for my handwriting, but then I hope this is readable. So these are the three nomenclatures of the RERA bank accounts. This amount has to be compulsorily spent on the project only. For the permissions that are required for the project, for the construction cost, to serve the interest of the loans that are availed for the project, and to other project related expenses like professionals ka fee, site ka expense, electricity bill, etc. etc. What are specifically not covered under this 70%? The first and foremost important is sales का जो amount रहता है. Sales के लिए जो भी खर्चा किया है, जैसे कि brokerage दिया है for the to the brokers, या फिर marketing के लिए जो expense किया है, advertising and others, this all is not covered in this 30%. It has to be done by from 30% bank account. Now this 30% bank account का जो amount है, this may or may not be expended on the project. ये जो है, this amount can be utilized for some other project. This amount can be taken home by the developer, or it can be used for this marketing and brokerage wala expense. So I hope this mechanism of this 30-70 is clear to everybody. I'll again repeat that this particular mechanism is applicable only to those amounts that are received from allottees and not to the self-contribution, capital contribution, या फिर loans that are received from financial institutions. This is specifically applicable only to the allottees. So coming back to our PPT. I hope this 70% वाला जो particular condition है वो clear है. Even in this case, to further elaborate this, I would those who have more interest in this should read order number 56, which is released on 27th June 2024, which is applicable from 1st July 2024. This order is, you may say, Bhagavad Gita of governance of these 3 bank account. इसमें नॉमेनक्लेचर भी बताया गया है कि इसके बैंक अकाउंट के. यस सर.
सर आपका आवाज थोड़ा क्लियर नहीं आ रहा है, आप थोड़ा माइक के पास से बोलिएगा.
ओके ओके ओके. Is it clear now? Better?
Yes sir, yes sir.
Okay. So this order number 56 is an order which specifies the governance of particularly these 3 bank accounts. So ये nomenclature भी बताता है कि nomenclature क्या होना चाहिए बैंक अकाउंट का. तो आप सोचिए कि कितना रेरा ने इसको इम्पोर्टेंस दिया है. तो इसका नॉमेनक्लेचर भी जैसा रेरा ने बोला है इस बैंक अकाउंट का वैसा ही होना चाहिए. उसमें प्रोजेक्ट का नाम आना चाहिए और कंपनी का नाम आना चाहिए. और ये अकाउंट जो है वेदर इट इज सेपरेट बैंक अकाउंट, ट्रांजैक्शन बैंक अकाउंट या फिर कलेक्शन बैंक अकाउंट. जैसे कि समझो प्रोजेक्ट नेम इज ABC. तो इन दिस केस भी इसका जो नाम है, प्रोजेक्ट का नाम, बैंक अकाउंट का नाम, तो ये कलेक्शन बैंक अकाउंट फॉर द ABC प्रोजेक्ट ऑफ XYZ लिमिटेड ऐसे ही होना चाहिए. सो दैट बायर को पर्टिकुलरली इसी नाम से जो है वो चेक इशू करना पड़ेगा. एंड दिस मनी हैज टू गो टू दिस पर्टिकुलर बैंक अकाउंट एंड ये 70-30 हो जाए. और ये दिस पर्टिकुलर बैंक अकाउंट इज बीइंग checked and audited by a chartered accountant. 2 chartered accountants. 1 chartered accountant who certifies Form 3 quarterly and another chartered accountant who certifies Form 5 annually. So I hope it is clear. Let us move on to the next. As I told you, the amount.
विशाल भाई और
जय भाई.
आ सकते हैं.
जय
विशाल
भाई.
नहीं आएंगे. विशाल पीछे आ सकते हैं.
Hello. Yeah. Amount can be withdrawn from separate RERA bank account only with the certification from the professionals. तो ये जो रेरा बैंक अकाउंट 70% वाला, जैसा मैंने आपको बताया 70-30 में से 70% वाला जो अमाउंट उस पर्टिकुलर बैंक अकाउंट में जो भी अमाउंट है, दैट अमाउंट हैज टू बी विथड्रॉन ओनली with the certificates from professionals. BA professionals कौन कौन है? There are 3 gentlemen. First is a project architect, second is project का engineer, and third is our fellow chartered accountant. So form project architect issues its certificate in the format of Form 1. Project engineer issues its certificate in the format of Form 2, and a chartered accountant issues its certificate in the format of Form 3. अभी इसमें से सबसे क्रूशियल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ऑफ कोर्स इज ऑफ अ चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट. बिकॉज आर्किटेक्ट को जो दिख रहा है एक्चुअल फिजिकल क्या कंस्ट्रक्शन हुआ है, एज पर दैट देयर आर 10 पर्टिकुलर माइलस्टोन्स. उसके हिसाब से सर्टिफिकेशन देना है, कितना परसेंटेज प्रोजेक्ट कंप्लीट हुआ है. इंजीनियर को भी उनके जो टेक्निकल कैलकुलेशन है उसके हिसाब से जो जगह पे कंस्ट्रक्शन हुआ है उसमें कितना खर्चा होना चाहिए, मतलब कितना स्क्वायर फीट कंस्ट्रक्शन हुआ है इनटू व्हाट इज द कंस्ट्रक्शन का कॉस्ट, दैट इंजीनियर हैज टू सर्टिफाई. इट इज अ चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट who has to look into the books of accounts. बुक्स में क्या पड़ा है, एक्चुअल में क्या दिख रहा है एंड बुक्स के हिसाब से उनको सर्टिफिकेशन करना है। बहुत बार ऐसा होता है कि इंजीनियर जो है वो बड़ा वाला कॉस्ट सर्टिफाई करके दे देता है क्योंकि जगह पे काम हुआ रहता है, लेकिन बुक्स में अगर बिल्स ही नहीं पड़े फॉर मेनी रीजंस, देयर कैन बी मेनी रीजंस कि एडवांस में ही पड़ा है अभी भी, या क्रेडिटर्स जो है वो अपोजिट साइड में, डेबिट साइड में खड़े हैं, इसकी वजह से there can be difference in the cost which is certified by an engineer and cost based in the books of accounts. So इसमें से जो मिनिमम है वही फॉर्म 3 में लेनी है। ठीक है, अभी ये 30/70 मैकेनिज्म और रजिस्ट्रेशन किसको एप्लीकेबल है, कब एप्लीकेबल है, इसके बारे में कोई भी डाउट है प्लीज आस्क मी ड्यूरिंग द क्वेश्चन एंड आंसर सेशन। नाउ नेक्स्ट, section number 5, grant of registration. Now this particular section directs RERA authority that on receipt of application for project registration, RERA authority must within 30 days either should grant the application or reject the application for reasons provided in writing. तो ये 30 days का जो कैप है, yes,
Sumit sir.
yes,
Hello.
yes,
Sir, actually your camera is off. Can you just please on it?
okay, so my screen is not visible.
No, screen is visible. Actually your camera is off.
I think it got automatically off. Okay, I must be visible now.
Yeah. Yes,
Okay.
yes, sir, visible. Continue.
Okay.
Thank you.
ओके, सो एक पर्टिकुलर डेज का एक कैप डाल दिया यहाँ पे कि कोई भी डेवलपर, कोई भी प्रमोटर जब भी रेरा के पास रजिस्ट्रेशन के लिए आता है तो रेरा अथॉरिटी हैज टू आइदर एक्सेप्ट द एप्लीकेशन और रिजेक्ट द एप्लीकेशन विद इन द स्पैन ऑफ 30 days. सो अभी इट इज बहुत इनिशियल बात है 2017 की। आई हैड रजिस्टर्ड वन, आई हैड मतलब एक एप्लीकेशन मैंने सबमिट किया था रेरा अथॉरिटी के पास, उस पे ऑलमोस्ट 30 days 31 days कुछ भी एक्शन नहीं हुआ। आई वॉज वेरी हैप्पी, नेक्स्ट से मैंने बोला चलो अभी रेरा अथॉरिटी जाते हैं, उनको ये सेक्शन 5 दिखा के बोलते मेरे को अभी आप रजिस्ट्रेशन दो, आपने 30 days में कुछ भी नहीं किया है। तो गया, देन आई केम टू नो दैट ये डेज का जो डेफिनेशन है, दिस इज वर्किंग डेज एंड महारेरा वर्क्स ओनली 5 days a week, Monday to Friday. They don't work on Saturday and Sundays, and of course no public holidays as well. So these 30 days are working days. So assuming that there are no public holidays falling from Monday to Friday, so in that case also it takes at least 6 weeks to complete this period of 30 days. So this is very important to understand that definition of the days is working days. Next is, if RERA authority fails to either grant or reject application within 30 days, the project shall be deemed to have been registered. The extension shall be valid. The project shall be valid only for the period as mentioned in the certificate. So, जब भी promoter is filing an application for the registration, promoter is also giving a date within which, by which the promoter is going to complete the project. If promoter misses that date, then there are some implications. We'll see that what are those implications. But then if that particular date is missed, then there are financial implications also, and there are other legal implications also. So this date has to be given very carefully. So section 5 says, in nutshell, or to summarize, section 5 says that the registration has to be given within 30 days, 30 working days. If the authority fails to do so, in that case, it shall be deemed to have been, the project shall have deemed to have been registered. Now, what is practically or actually happening? So, whenever the promoter registers a project, in that case, उस केस में उनको क्वेरी भेजी जाती है एप्लीकेशन स्क्रूटिनाइज होता है एंड देन पर्टिकुलर डिपार्टमेंट, जो भी डिपार्टमेंट्स है रेरा में, दे रेज अ क्वेरी. सो वंस दे रेज अ क्वेरी, ये 30 डेज का जो मीटर है वो रीसेट हो गया, मतलब वो जीरो हो गया. देन अगेन प्रमोटर हैज टू कंप्लाई विद दोस क्वेरीज एंड सबमिट द एप्लीकेशन. फिर से अभी 30 डेज का मीटर चालू हो गया. तो अभी यहाँ से लेके 30 वर्किंग डेज तक अगर उसमें if there is no action taken by the RERA authority, then only the project shall be deemed to have been registered. Once again the second set of scrutinies are sent to the promoter, the 30 days का मीटर है वो फिर से zero हो गया. I hope you understood this. Then comes the section 6, that is extension of registration. What if the promoter fails to complete the project within the timeline which was promised at the time of registration of the project? So here comes the section 6 for the rescue, that is extension of the registration. So the registration granted under section 5 may be extended by the authority on an application made by the promoter due to force majeure. Now this is very important. Force majeure. अगर force majeure conditions है तो ही section 6 के अंदर extension मिल सकता है. Now force majeure क्या है वो भी देखेंगे. The period of extension under this section shall not exceed period of 1 year. एक साल से ज्यादा का extension नहीं मिलेगा even in case of force majeure. Provided further that no application for extension of registration shall be rejected unless the applicant has been given an opportunity of being heard in the matter. Of course, the principles of natural justice. Anything, if you are going to reject the application, you have to give an opportunity of being heard. Unless that is been provided, that is a denial of natural justice. Then, for the purpose of this section, अभी ये force majeure क्या है? तो force majeure shall mean a case of war, flood, drought, fire, cyclone, earthquake, or any other calamity caused by nature affecting the regular development of the real estate project. अभी ऐसा कब हुआ था recent future, recent past में? So you must be remembering COVID. जब भी COVID आया था तो महारेरा ने एक साल का extension जो है वो स्यू मोटो दिया था for all the projects that are registered on or before 15th March 2020. 15 मार्च 2020 या उसके पहले जो प्रोजेक्ट रजिस्टर हुए उन सबको एक साल का जो है वो एक्सटेंशन स्यू मोटो मिला था with the exercise of the powers that are conferred under section 6 on the Maharera authority. Now comes the section 7, that is revocation of registration. The revocation of the registration, the authority may, on receipt of complaint or sue motu in this behalf or on the recommendation of the competent authority, revoke the registration granted under section 5. So किसी भी एक्ट में, किसी भी प्रोविजंस में कोई भी चीज अगर अप्रूव की जाती है तो उसको वापस लेना भी, उसका भी प्रोविजन हमेशा उस एक्ट में पर्टिकुलर रहता है. तो अंडर सेक्शन 5 अगर रजिस्ट्रेशन दिया गया है तो सेक्शन 7 बोलता है वो रिवोक भी किया जा सकता है, बट देयर हैज टू बी सम कंडीशंस. ऐसे ही एट द व्हिम्स एंड फैंसीज ऑफ द अथॉरिटी ये जो रजिस्ट्रेशन है वो रिवोक नहीं किया जा सकता. तो व्हाट आर दोस कंडीशंस? ये रजिस्ट्रेशन कब रिवोक किया जा सकता है? तो एक तो किसी ने कंप्लेंट फाइल करना चाहिए, या स्यू मोटो अथॉरिटी को खुद को लगता है, या फिर कोई कॉम्पिटेंट अथॉरिटी जो है वो रेकमेंड करती है. लेकिन ऐसा रेरा अथॉरिटी कब कर सकती है? तो आफ्टर बीइंग सेटिस्फाइड दैट देयर इज अ नॉन कंप्लायंस ऑफ रेरा प्रोविजंस. रेरा ने कुछ चीजें जो है वो करने को बोली है लेकिन प्रमोटर ने वो की नहीं. देन वायलेशन ऑफ द रेरा प्रोविजन. कुछ प्रोविजंस ऐसी है जो कि रेरा ने ऐसा करना चाहिए ये बताया है लेकिन वैसा ना करते हुए कुछ अलग किया है. जैसे कि फॉर एग्जांपल सेक्शन 3, सेल करने से पहले, प्रोजेक्ट बेचने से पहले देयर मस्ट बी अ रेरा रजिस्ट्रेशन. उसके पहले कुछ किया, सेल किया, पैसा एक्सेप्ट किया, दैट इज अ वायलेशन ऑफ द रेरा प्रोविजन. अनदर प्रोविजन इज सेक्शन 13 का. वंस 10%, I mean once up to 10% amount is received of the total cost of the apartment, it is obligatory upon the promoter to execute agreement. और ये सेक्शन 13 मतलब रेरा एक्ट का प्रोविजन हो, so which is applicable right from Kashmir to Kanyakumari and Kutch to Assam, everywhere. So अगर लेट्स से 1 करोड़ का फ्लैट है 1 CR का, तो once the developer promoter accepts 10 lakhs or more than that from the allottee as a payment towards that particular apartment, it is obligatory upon the promoter to execute an act. ऐसा अगर promoter नहीं करता है, तो that is also violation of RERA. Then next is promoter is involved in unfair practices. अभी unfair practices क्या है वो भी हम लोग देखेंगे, किसको unfair practices बोला चाहिए. तो ये 3 में से कुछ भी, अगर इसमें से कुछ भी होता है, इसमें से कुछ भी एप्लीकेबल है टू अ पर्टिकुलर प्रोजेक्ट, इन दैट केस महारेरा अथॉरिटी या रेरा अथॉरिटी में रिवोक द प्रोजेक्ट रजिस्ट्रेशन. बट बिफोर डूइंग सच रिवोकेशन एटलीस्ट 30 days का नोटिस जो है वो प्रमोटर को देना चाहिए, विच इज नेसेसरी ऑब्लिगेटरी अपॉन द रेरा अथॉरिटी. Then the authority may, instead of revoking the registration under subsection 1, that is ये पहला जो बोला authority may on the receipt of A1, permit it to remain in force subject to such further terms and conditions as it may think fit to impose in the interest of the allottees, and any such terms and conditions so imposed shall be binding upon the promoter. So these are the this is the provision wherein रेरा अथॉरिटी को ये डिस्क्रेशन दिया गया है कि इसमें से कुछ भी होता है, जैसे नॉन कंप्लायंस है, वायलेशन है, there are unfair practices. In that case also, instead of revoking the project, Maharera authority may put some conditions, and these conditions will be obligatory on the promoter, and the Maharera authority in turn will give the valid project, or the registration will remain valid. Now this particular provision has been used to grant extensions to the project. वो हम लोग extension वाला section में जब भी जाएंगे तभी will see this. Then continuing the section 7 only, revocation. Upon the revocation of the project, अगर एक बार project revoke कर दिया, तो in that case authority shall first debar promoter from accessing the website. तो जैसे वेबसाइट पे इसका प्रोजेक्ट का जो इंफॉर्मेशन है, लॉगिन आईडी, यूजर आईडी एंड पासवर्ड के साथ जो एक्सेस किया जा सकता है, अपडेट किया जा सकता है, चेंज किया जा सकता है, दिस विल बी स्टॉप्ड. द प्रोजेक्ट विल नो मोर बी accessible by the promoter. Then second thing, the RERA authority will publish that promoter's name as a defaulter. डिफॉल्टर का एक लिस्ट जो है, उस लिस्ट में महारेरा अथॉरिटी उस प्रमोटर का नाम डालेगी. देन थर्ड इज इन्फॉर्म जो अदर रियल एस्टेट अथॉरिटीज है, जैसे समझो ये महारेरा में होता है, तो महारेरा अथॉरिटी जो है बाकी स्टेट्स की जो बाकी 20 अदर देन महारेरा जो 27 अदर स्टेट्स है, उन स्टेट्स की रियल एस्टेट अथॉरिटीज को इन्फॉर्म कर सकती है कि ये पर्टिकुलर प्रमोटर जो है वो डिफॉल्टर है. देन रिमेनिंग डेवलपमेंट, अगर ये प्रोजेक्ट रिवोक होता है तो इन दैट केस जो बचा हुआ डेवलपमेंट का काम है, वो डेवलपमेंट का काम कैसे किया जाए वो सेक्शन 8 के तहत रेरा डिसाइड करेगी, क्योंकि लोगों को पोजीशन तो देना है. अगर प्रमोटर ने नॉन कंप्लायंस किया है, वायलेट किए प्रोविजंस, एंड बिकॉज ऑफ दैट द प्रोजेक्ट इज बीइंग रिवोक्ड, बट एट द सेम टाइम अलॉटीज आल्सो उनको भी जस्ट फुल ट्रीटमेंट जो है वो देनी चाहिए. तो इन दैट केस जो प्रोजेक्ट में बचा हुआ काम है वो काम कंप्लीट करके लोगों को पोजीशन देना चाहिए. तो ये कैसे होगा, तो ये सेक्शन 8 में रेरा ने बताया है. एंड बिफोर दैट, वंस दिस प्रोजेक्ट इज रिवोक्ड, रेरा बैंक अकाउंट जो है वो भी फ्रीज हो जाएगा। मतलब वो 100% इसका 70% वाला जिसमें एलओटी से आया हुआ पैसे में से 70% पैसा डिपॉजिट होता है। ऑल द टाइम बिफोर revocating before the revocation of the RERA registration, RERA authority will always protect the interest of the allottees. Then comes section 8. What are the obligation of the authority consequent upon lapse of the project? अभी कोई प्रोजेक्ट जो है वो लैप्स करके डिक्लेयर कर दिया या रिवोक कर दिया उसका रजिस्ट्रेशन, तो ऑथोरिटी पे भी कुछ जिम्मेदारियां डाली है। वो जिम्मेदारियां क्या है? तो अपॉन लैप्स ऑफ द registration or on revocation of the registration under this act, the authority may consult the appropriate government to take such actions as it may deem fit, including the carrying out of the remaining development work by competent authority or by the association of allottees or any other manner as may be determined by the authority. तो बचा हुआ काम है उस पर्टिकुलर प्रोजेक्ट में, वो पर्टिकुलर जो है काम जो है वो कॉम्पिटेंट अथॉरिटी को दे देगी। रेरा में गिव इट टू सम कॉम्पिटेंट अथॉरिटी, जैसे कि म्हाड़ा है, या फिर एसोसिएशन ऑफ अलॉटी, मतलब उस पर्टिकुलर प्रोजेक्ट में जो भी अलॉटीज है उनका अगर कोई एसोसिएशन है एंड दैट एसोसिएशन इज रेडी टू कैरी आउट द फर्दर डेवलपमेंट वर्क, तो वो एसोसिएशन भी ये काम कर सकती है। या इसके सिवा बाय एनी अदर मैन, इसमें भी एट whatever it is decide RERA authority to decide करेगी। Provided that no direction, decision or order of the authority under this act shall take effect until the expiry of the period of appeal provided under the provisions of this act। तो अपील के लिए 60 दिन का जो वक्त है वो वक्त दिया गया है। एक बार रेरा अथॉरिटी ने ऑर्डर दे दी कि ये प्रोजेक्ट को रिवोक करो, तो ऐसा ऑर्डर देने के बाद until 60 working days are expired, RERA authority is not supposed to take any action with respect to this, क्योंकि अगर उसको चैलेंज किया जाता है appellate tribunal में, तो फिर तो in that case the situation may be different. Therefore, this particular proviso has been inserted in section 8. Then provided further that in case of revocation of the registration of a project under this act, the association of allottees shall have the first right of refusal for carrying out the remaining development work. ऐसे केस में जहाँ पे प्रोजेक्ट का रजिस्ट्रेशन रिवोक हुआ है एंड महारेरा ऑथोरिटी इज फाइंडिंग, रेरा ऑथोरिटी इज फाइंडिंग समवन टू कंप्लीट द प्रोजेक्ट, टू कंप्लीट दिस पर्टिकुलर रिमेनिंग वर्क एंड कंप्लीट द प्रोजेक्ट, तो ऐसे केस में फर्स्ट राइट ऑफ रिफ्यूजल जो है वो हमेशा एसोसिएशन ऑफ अलॉटीज के पास ही रहेगी। अगर एसोसिएशन ऑफ अलॉटी डिनाई करती है तो इन दैट केस इट कैन बी गिवन टू सम अदर कॉम्पिटेंट अथॉरिटी और सम अदर डेवलपर। इसका एक क्लासिक सक्सेस स्टोरी है महारेरा का about DSK Sadapuri, which is a project which is located in Pune. One of the very reputed developer, erstwhile reputed developer DSK, उनका एक प्रोजेक्ट था DSK Sadapuri. Unfortunately, that project couldn't be completed because of the event, few unfortunate events. तो ये पर्टिकुलर प्रोजेक्ट जो है इसके केस में महारेरा ने एसोसिएशन ऑफ अलॉटी फॉर्म की, एक पैनल कंसल्टेंट्स का फॉर्म किया जिसमें one of the मतलब reputed developers है like Niranjan Hiranandani sir, who was instrumental in making this story success. So इन्होंने ये particular DSK Sadapuri जो प्रोजेक्ट है that was carved out and be given to the association of allotee. उसमें टाटा हाउसिंग कैपिटल का कुछ लोन भी था which उसके लिए उन्होंने सिर्फ प्रिंसिपल अमाउंट जो है वो बोला कि हम लोग को आप वापस करो, वी आर रेडी टू फॉरगो द इंटरेस्ट। सो उनका भी कंट्रीब्यूशन है इस सक्सेस स्टोरी में। दैट अमाउंट वाज रिपेड बाय एसोसिएशन ऑफ अलॉटी, मतलब जो भी अमाउंट लोगों से आना एज पर एग्रीमेंट फॉर सेल, कुछ अमाउंट पे किया था, कुछ अमाउंट आउटस्टैंडिंग था, तो जो आउटस्टैंडिंग अमाउंट था वो कलेक्ट करके उनको रिपे किया गया। बचे हुए अमाउंट से जो है वो काम रेरा का जो कंस्ट्रक्शन का जो काम है वो किया गया। सो DSK Sadapuri is a classic case of this section 8, that is the authority के obligations में authority ने ये project जो है वो complete करने के लिए मेहनत की। Now, as I said, we will see the consequences I have not deliberately put it into the PPT क्योंकि ये ऐसा समझाना ज्यादा मेरे ख्याल से अच्छा है. तो consequences of not completing project within timeline provided by promoter. So section 18 of the RERA Act becomes operational or applicable over here. So let us take an example. Project start date. Let's say the project was registered on 1st April 2022 with the project end date given at the time as 31st March 2025. So project end date means before this project, the construction of the building must be complete and completion certificate or occupancy certificate, whatever is applicable in that particular area as per the development control rules, वो certificate competent authority से आना चाहिए. And ये सब पूरी जो process है, this process has to be completed on or before 31st March 2025. Now let's say this promoter, promoter का नाम लिखते हैं हम लोग XYZ Limited. Now let's say XYZ Limited fails to complete the project within this particular promised timeline of 31st March 2025. तो क्या होगा? इसके बाद में allottees जो है, प्रोजेक्ट डिले हो गया तो allottees are conferred with two types of rights. Which right to exercise ये allotee का choice है. The first is interest. So in this case, the allotee will get interest on whatever the amount that is paid by the allotee to the promoter at the rate of SBI MCLR rate plus 2%. Usually this rate is now I think presently it should be somewhere between 8.5% to 8% to 8.5%. So जो interest rate है वो usually 10 to 10.5% के बीच में revolve करता है. So interest plus possession. So let's say in this case possession is given on 30th September 2025. So allotee is eligible for interest from 1st April 2025, that is the next day of the promised date of possession, to 2025 on whatever the amount that was outstanding at the rate SBI MCLR plus 2%. This is the first option. Second option is withdraw. Withdraw means the allotee is of the opinion that I don't want this flat now or I don't want this unit now because it has already been delayed and इसका मेरे को जो भी utilization या जो भी इसका मुझे फायदा था जो भी था वो अभी नहीं है. लेट से मैं बच्चों के एडमिशन के लिए लिया था, अभी ये फ्लैट ही उसके पहले नहीं मिल रहा है तो मैं बाद में लेके क्या करूं इसको. तो इससे अच्छा मेरे को मेरा पूरा पैसा वापस चाहिए. तो विथड्रॉ, नो फ्लैट possession. In this case, all the amount that is paid to allotee, right from that is paid by allotee to the promoter, पूरे amount पे, all the amount to be refunded along with interest at SBI MCLR plus 2%. कब से? From the date when LOT paid amount to promoter till the amount is refunded by promoter. So this is very important. We'll again go through these two options. So when this option can be exercised once the project end date, which is promised by the promoter, and before that particular date, promoter fails to give possession. So two options. There are two options with the LOT. It is the choice of the LOT which option to exercise. First option is कि मेरे को apartment flat चाहिए plus interest चाहिए. So in that case, where the LOT wants interest, flat as well as interest, in that case जो भी पैसा पे किया है उसको from the date of default, that is 1st April, in this case 1st April 2025 to whatever the actual date of possession, उतना पीरियड के लिए SBI MCLR plus 2% रेट जो है उसको उस पे इंटरेस्ट जो है वो क्लेम किया जा सकता है. सेकंड ऑप्शन इज टोटली विड्रॉ फ्रॉम द प्रोजेक्ट. मुझे फ्लैट भी नहीं चाहिए, कुछ भी नहीं चाहिए, मेरे को पैसा जो है मेरा पूरा का पूरा वापस चाहिए. तो मैंने जब से पे किया वहां से लेके आज तक का इंटरेस्ट के साथ पैसा जो है वो प्रमोटर को वापस करना पड़ेगा. सो दिस इज Section 18. It is very important provision of the Act. Vast jurisprudence is pending before the RERA authority as well as appellate tribunal. Same is the case with other RERA authorities of the country. Vast litigations are pending before RERA authorities of all the states, because this is one of the, क्या बोल सकते हो उसको, हथियार दिया है LOT के हाथ में to fight with the developer या to fight for the justice to and rightfully get compensated for the delays that are done by the promoters. Okay, so this was section 18. Again, I would request, if at all anything you have not understood, missed out, please ask me during question and answer session. Now, other important things about registration. Yes, जैसे कि मंगेश सर ने बोला, like few days ago, with effect from with effect from 3rd or 4th May, RERA has come up with its new website with the new requirements. But at this time, RERA ने दोनों भी वेबसाइट चालू रखे, पुराना वाला वेबसाइट भी चालू है, नया वाला वेबसाइट भी चालू है. जो भी एप्लीकेशंस पुराने वाले वेबसाइट में किए हैं वो पुराने वाले वेबसाइट में ही स्क्रूटिनाइज किए जा रहे हैं. जो भी एप्लीकेशन नए वेबसाइट में किए हैं वो अभी नए वेबसाइट में देखे जाएंगे. आज अगर मुझे कुछ भी कोई भी एप्लीकेशन करना है तो आई हैव टू डू इट इन द न्यू रेरा पोर्टल ओनली. तो रजिस्ट्रेशन का रहे या फिर एग्जिस्टिंग प्रोजेक्ट पे एक्सटेंशन का रहे, दैट हैज टू बी डन थ्रू न्यू पोर्टल ओनली. ओके, अभी स्टैट्यूटरी फीस क्या रहती है रजिस्ट्रेशन के लिए? So statutory fees again left to be decided by the states only. Sorry, Act says that authorities are supposed to charge statutory fees for registration, but कितना charge करना चाहिए ये हर state अपने अपने हिसाब से decide कर सकता है. So as far as RERA is concerned, it is ₹10 per square meter. It depends on the plot area on which the development is being undertaken, and that is ₹10 per square meter. So let's say, for example, plot area is 750. Plot area is 1,500 square meter. In that case, 1,500 into ₹10 plus some processing charges. So that fees will be rupees 15,000 plus some processing charges and taxes. There is a minimum, there are minimum fees also and cap on the maximum fees also. Minimum fees are rupees 10,000. So 10,000. So let's say a project is having an area of 750 square meters. So 750 into rupees 10, that comes to 7,500. So in such cases, minimum fee of rupees 10,000 will be charged to the project. Maximum cap that is imposed is rupees 10 lakh. 10 lakh rupees जो है, it is the maximum fee, statutory fee that can be charged by RERA authority. For the plotting project, the fees are rupees 5 per square meter. Then validity of the project registration, ये हम लोग ने already देखा, from start date to जो भी end date promoter ने दिया है लिख के at the time of registration. Then extension of the projects are allowed. Yes, extension of the project timelines are allowed as per section 6 and subsection and 7 subsection 3. प्रोजेक्ट रिवोक किया जा सकता है, यस किया जा सकता है अंडर सेक्शन 7. रियल एस्टेट एजेंट्स जो है उनको भी रजिस्ट्रेशन कंपलसरी है क्या? यस, उनको भी रजिस्ट्रेशन कंपलसरी है अंडर सेक्शन एज पर द प्रोविजंस ऑफ अंडर सेक्शन 9. व्हाट इज द वेबसाइट फॉर रजिस्ट्रेशन ऑफ द प्रोजेक्ट? वेबसाइट का यूआरएल दिया है. दिस इज ओल्ड वेबसाइट का यूआरएल. न्यू वेबसाइट का जो यूआरएल है अभी जब इफ एट ऑल यू जस्ट गूगल महारेरा होम, तो आपको नया वेबसाइट जो है इट विल टेक यू टू द न्यू वेबसाइट ओनली. रजिस्ट्रेशन का जो प्रोसीजर है 100% प्रोसीजर इज ऑनलाइन. देयर इज नो कुछ भी फिजिकली सबमिट करने की जरूरत नहीं है. ऑल द डॉक्यूमेंट्स जो पीडीएफ फॉर्मेट में सबमिट करने रहते हैं विद इन द साइज ऑफ 1 MB. अभी जो नया वेबसाइट है उसमें ये पर्टिकुलर साइज जो है वो 5 MB है. प्रोजेक्ट्स एक बार रजिस्टर होने के बाद उनको रेगुलरली अपडेट भी करना पड़ता है, एंड दिस हैज टू बी डन at least once in a quarter. This is what is the provisions are contained in section 11 of the RERA Act. तो सेक्शन 11 ये बोलता है कि क्वार्टर में कम से कम एक बार जो है वो आपका प्रोजेक्ट जो है वो अपडेट होना चाहिए. तो क्या क्या चीजें हैं जो प्रोजेक्ट मतलब क्वार्टरली अपडेट्स में होनी चाहिए? तो जो भी नया परमिशंस आते हैं जैसे कि कमेंसमेंट सर्टिफिकेट, फर्दर सीसी आ जाती है. फर्दर सीसी मतलब क्या होता है कि सीसी जो है वो कमेंसमेंट सर्टिफिकेट जो है वो स्टेप बाय स्टेप दिया जाता है. जैसे कि पहला कमेंसमेंट समझो प्लेन तक है, तो वो अपलोड करके हम लोग ने रेरा रजिस्ट्रेशन लिया है. अभी आगे का कमेंसमेंट ऑफ कंस्ट्रक्शन टिल लेट्स से 10th फ्लोर या 15th फ्लोर आ चुका है, तो दैट हैज टू बी अपलोडेड या अपडेटेड ऑन द रेरा वेब पेज. उसके साथ साथ एक सीसी का डिक्लेरेशन भी बनाना पड़ता है एक पर्टिकुलर फॉर्मेट में, वो भी उसके साथ अपडेट होना चाहिए. If there are any new NOCs received, let's say आपका इसी एनवायरमेंटल का कुछ नया NOC आ गया, ग्रीन ट्राइब्यूनल का कुछ आ गया, you may upload those NOCs also. प्रोजेक्ट की जो कॉस्ट है एक्चुअल टोटल अमाउंट इनकर्ड एज पर फॉर्म 3 सीए सर्टिफिकेट में सीएनए चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट ने टेबल बी में जो भी एक्चुअल कॉस्ट जो है वो सर्टिफाई करके दी है, दैट कॉस्ट आल्सो हैज टू बी अपडेटेड इन द प्रोजेक्ट कॉस्ट मॉड्यूल. देन फॉर्म 2 क्वालिटी एश्योरेंस सर्टिफिकेट, ये तो एनुअली है फिर भी, लेकिन दिस हैज टू बी डन. देन अदर अलग अलग डॉक्यूमेंट अपलोड जैसे कि प्रोफेशनल्स के सर्टिफिकेट से एक्चुअल पीडीएफ जो है, फॉर्म 1 आर्किटेक्ट सर्टिफिकेट, 2 इंजीनियर सर्टिफिकेट, 3 सीए सर्टिफिकेट. बिल्डिंग के डिटेल्स मतलब सोल्ड बुक्ड अपार्टमेंट, टोटल जो इन्वेंट्री है पर्टिकुलर प्रोजेक्ट की उसमें से अभी कितनी सेल हुई है, कितनी अभी भी बाकी है अनसोल्ड है. देन परसेंटेज ऑफ वर्क कंप्लीटेड बेस्ड ऑन फॉर्म 1 आर्किटेक्ट का जो सर्टिफिकेट है उसके पर्टिकुलर सर्टिफिकेट पे बेस्ड जो भी परसेंटेज है काम का, that percentage also needs to be updated. Common areas and facilities, if there is let's say swimming pool है या क्लब हाउस है, उसका भी कंस्ट्रक्शन का जो भी स्टेज है, उसका भी जो भी प्रोग्रेस है, that progress also needs to be updated. प्रोजेक्ट प्रोफेशनल के डिटेल्स, लास्ट टाइम जो भी आर्किटेक्ट इंजीनियर सीए इनके जो नाम है वो नाम जो है वो रेरा वेबसाइट पे अपडेट करने पड़ते हैं. उनका नाम, आता, पता, कॉन्टैक्ट नंबर, एवरीथिंग हैज टू बी अपलोडेड ऑन द रेरा वेब पेज. प्रमोटर लैंड ओनर के डिटेल्स, इन्वेस्टर के डिटेल्स, अगर इफ देयर इज अ लैंड ओनर लैंडओनर इज डिफरेंट, डेवलपर इज डिफरेंट. इन दैट केस ऑल्सो लैंडओनर की डिटेल्स अलग से देना जो है वो कंपलसरी है. देन फॉर्म 5 रेरा ऑडिट फॉर्म फॉर जो कि एनुअली देना है. सो प्रोजेक्ट अपडेट्स जो है, प्रोजेक्ट अपडेट्स कैन बी समराइज्ड एज फॉलोज. तो प्रोजेक्ट अपडेट्स जो है उसमें क्वार्टरली अपडेट, देन एनुअल अपडेट, एंड क्वार्टरली अपडेट में आता है फॉर्म 1, 2, 3, मतलब आर्किटेक्ट, इंजीनियर, सीए एंड सोल्ड बुक्ड इन्वेंट्री. दिस 4 थिंग्स, ये 4 चीजें जो है वो क्वार्टरली अपडेट होनी चाहिए. सोल्ड बुक इन्वेंट्री का महारेरा ने एक फॉर्मेट इशू किया है. उसी पर्टिकुलर फॉर्मेट में सोल्ड बुक इन्वेंट्री की जो इंफॉर्मेशन है वो प्रमोटर इज रिक्वायर्ड टू अपडेट. ये इंफॉर्मेशन और फॉर्म 3 सीए सर्टिफिकेट में जो दी हुई इंफॉर्मेशन है, दिस हैज टू मैच. इन एनुअल अपडेट्स में आता है फॉर्म 2A एंड फॉर्म 5. दिस इज quality assurance certificate. Again, this is by engineer, and form 5 is audit certificate. This has to be given by a CA. Now the most important thing, ये वाला सर्टिफिकेशन करने वाला सीए और ये सर्टिफिकेशन करने वाला सीए, ये दोनों भी मस्ट बी इंडिपेंडेंट. ये दोनों अलग अलग होने चाहिए. एक ही फर्म के 2 पार्टनर ये सर्टिफिकेशन नहीं कर सकते. This CA should be independent, this CA should be independent and different, because this form 5 audit certificate wala jo chartered accountant, he has to even comment that whether this particular gentleman has discharged his or her duties properly or not, and whatever the withdrawal amount that has been calculated by a chartered accountant certifying form 3 is correct or not. So this is this can be said to be a summary of the project update, quarterly update, annual update, and third is as and when, I mean, progress या new documents type, जैसे कि further CC है, या let's say जिसे encumbrance कहा जाता है, वो फाइनेंशियल हो सकता है या लीगल हो सकता है. प्रोजेक्ट जब रजिस्टर किया तभी प्रोजेक्ट पे कोई फाइनेंशियल एनकम्बरेंस नहीं था. जैसे प्रोजेक्ट प्रोग्रेस हुआ, फाइनेंशियल इंस्टीट्यूशन से लोन ले लिया है, प्रोजेक्ट पे एनकम्बरेंस क्रिएट हो गया है, प्रोजेक्ट लैंड हैज बीन मॉर्गेज टू द फाइनेंशियल अथॉरिटी, यस, देन एनकम्बरेंस हैज टू बी अपडेटेड ऑन रेरा पोर्टल. So this is the summary of the project updates, quarterly updates, annual updates, and as per whatever the progress further CC या encumbrance जो भी, वही incidental updates जिसको हम लोग बोल सकते हैं. ठीक है. Then अभी ये प्रोजेक्ट अपडेट्स के लिए कुछ अमाउंट पे करनी पड़ती है क्या? तो यस, वो रेरा अथॉरिटी जो है, महारेरा अथॉरिटी, वो आपसे चार्ज करवाती है. अगर आपने पे नहीं किया है तो इट गिव्स यू, वो आपको बताती है कि ये अमाउंट आपको पे करना पड़ेगा. अब ये अमाउंट क्या रहती है? तो ये अमाउंट रहती है ₹500 पर ईयर, 500 रुपया हर साल का. वो एक बार आपने भर दिया तो ये अपडेट्स जो है वो अपडेट्स किए जा सकते हैं. अगेन ये अपडेट्स कैन बी क्लासिफाइड इनटू 2 कैटेगरीज. एक जो ये 500 रुपया भर के हम लोग चेंज कर सकते हैं, जैसे कि सोल्ड बुक इन्वेंट्री है, प्रोजेक्ट का प्रोग्रेस है, कॉस्ट है. देयर आर अदर अपडेट्स ऑल्सो जो कि हम लोग को 5,000 रुपया भर के एप्लीकेशन करके करना पड़ता है. जैसे कि आपका प्रोजेक्ट का FSI जो है वो चेंज हो गया है, आपका प्रोजेक्ट का जो एस्टिमेटेड कॉस्ट था सीए सर्टिफिकेट में दिया हुआ, वो चेंज हो गया है। ऐसा कोई चेंज होता है तो दैट हैज टू बी सेपरेटली ट्रीटेड, सेपरेट ₹5,000 हैज टू बी पेड and an application in a prescribed format must be submitted with the RERA authority. Now, second is, should we upload certificates, that is Form 1, 2, 2A and Form 3 each time the project is updated? The answer is yes, it has to be uploaded. Frequency of updates, I have already told you. We have already seen quarterly updates, annual updates and incidental updates. क्या सभी डिटेल्स अपडेट किए जा सकते हैं क्या? मैंने आपको बताया कौन से डिटेल्स अपडेट किए जा सकते हैं, कौन से वी हैव टू गो टू द चेंज। तो जो है एप्लीकेशन फॉर चेंज वाला जो मॉड्यूल है, करेक्शन मॉड्यूल जिसे बोला जाता है, अभी नया जो वेबसाइट है उसमें उसको करेक्शन मॉड्यूल नाम दिया है। करेक्शन मॉड्यूल के थ्रू कुछ चीजें जो है वो चेंज करनी पड़ती है। बैंक अकाउंट आपको चेंज करना है, रेरा बैंक अकाउंट जो है वो एस्टिमेटेड कॉस्ट चेंज करना है, तो उसके लिए सेपरेट एप्लीकेशन फाइल करना पड़ता है, ₹5,000 भर। Now we'll quickly see project extension. I think we are running out of time. Project extension section 6 वाला हम लोग ने ऑलरेडी देख लिया। इसमें एक प्रैक्टिकल आपको एक डेवलपमेंट बताता हूँ। लाइक बिफोर अक्टूबर या नवंबर 2024 ये सेक्शन 6 वाला जो एक्सटेंशन है वो किसी को भी मिल जाता था बिफोर, मतलब विदाउट अलॉटीज कंसेंट। 1 साल का एक्सटेंशन हर प्रोजेक्ट को रजिस्ट्रेशन के बाद दिया जाता था विदाउट अलॉटीज कंसेंट। अगर प्रोजेक्ट नो मच क्वेश्चंस आस्क्ड, अगर प्रोजेक्ट अपडेटेड है, एवरीथिंग इज देयर एट प्लेस, तो ये एक्सटेंशन 1 साल का दिया जाता था। बट देन विथ इफेक्ट फ्रॉम अक्टूबर नवंबर 2024 RERA has completely stopped giving this type of extension. RERA का ये कहना है कि this can be given only and only in case of force majeure. कोविड के टाइम पे दिया था, अगर आगे अगर ऐसा भगवान ना करे लेकिन ऐसा कोई प्रॉब्लम आता है तो ही हम लोग ये सेक्शन 6 में एक्सटेंशन देंगे, नहीं तो नहीं देंगे। देन हम लोग ने एक 7 सबसेक्शन 3 वाला देखा था, मैं आपको फिर से ऊपर लेके जाता हूँ। ये हम लोग जब भी सेक्शन 7 देख रहे थे, ये पर्टिकुलर दिस पर्टिकुलर द अथॉरिटी, लास्ट वाला पॉइंट जो है ये पर्टिकुलर स्लाइड में, द अथॉरिटी में इंस्टेड ऑफ रिवोकिंग द रजिस्ट्रेशन, ये वाला जो पर्टिकुलर पॉइंट है, इस पर्टिकुलर प्रोविजंस का आधार लेके ये दूसरा वाला जो एक्सटेंशन है अंडर सेक्शन 7 सबसेक्शन 3 दिया जाता है। ये एक्सटेंशन प्रमोटर ले सकता है, इसके लिए समय की भी कोई पाबंदी नहीं है कि 1 साल का ही मिलेगा, 6 महीने का ही मिलेगा। ये कितने भी टाइम का प्रमोटर जो है वो ले सकता है। सिर्फ वो टाइम जो है वो प्रोपोर्शनेट होना, मतलब जो भी बचा हुआ काम है वो काम कंप्लीट करने के लिए रीजनेबली कितना टाइम लगेगा, उतने टाइम का ही वो एक्सटेंशन मिलेगा। अगर प्रोजेक्ट इनकम्प्लीट, अगर ये प्रोजेक्ट जो है वो इसके लिए ये एप्लीकेशन करने के लिए एटलीस्ट 51% कंसेंट जो है अलॉटीज की, दैट इज कंपल्सरी। सो देयर हैज टू बी एटलीस्ट 51% कंसेंट फ्रॉम द अलॉटीज in order to apply for this particular extension under section 7 subsection 3. This is very important particular condition या provision. और ये 51% कंसेंट जो है वो स्पेसिफिक जो एक रेरा ने फॉर्मेट दिया है उसी फॉर्मेट में लगती है। सो अगर एग्रीमेंट फॉर सेल में लिखवा के ले लिया कि मैं कितनी भी बार रेरा के लिए एक्सटेंशन ले सकता हूँ और ये अलॉटी जो है वो उसका कंसेंट दे रहा है बाय वे ऑफ signing this agreement only, so that will not be tenable, that will not be considered by RERA authority, that this particular consent has to be obtained separately. Okay, so with this I thank you everybody for the patient hearing, and I open this session for questions and answers.
So, should I read out the questions to you?
Yes, please.
First question, in case of JDA, if the total apartments to be developed is 10, however, if the number of apartments to be sold to outsiders is 7, then whether it will get covered under exemption?
It will not be covered under exemption because the section clearly uses the word apartments to be developed. So it is not linked with how many apartments you intend to sell. Number of apartments developed are more than 8, then it is not covered. It is not covered under that particular provision of exemption.
Next question. If originally one RERA number was taken consisting of 5 buildings, and now the promoter wants to separate 2 buildings out of this 5 buildings into a separate RERA, how to go ahead with this? What is the procedure and documents required for the same?
Unfortunately, there is no such provision. The buildings that are already registered with in particular project with Maharera authority, there is no provision of separating it and registering altogether a different project. At the time of registration, only promoter has to plan it out well कि कितना building उनको registration करना है. So as of now, there is no option. There is an option of deregistration, but deregistration जो है वो उसी केस में हो सकता है जिस केस में प्रोजेक्ट जो है वो वायबल ही नहीं है या होने ही वाला नहीं है फ्यूचर. So there is no such provision to separate already registered buildings from existing registration and obtaining new registration.
Next question, whether banks have the authority to not provide checkbooks and net banking facility for this 70% designated bank account. One of the banks is of the view that for every transaction, the promoter is required to issue Form 3 and Form 1.
Okay. So in this case, yes, usually banks do not issue checkbook या फिर net banking facility to 70% bank account because it is governed bank account by the RERA rules or provisions. Form 1, 2, 3, yes, it has to be given to the bank, but not each time because जो CA सर्टिफिकेट है उस CA सर्टिफिकेट में पर्टिकुलर अमाउंट चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट ने सर्टिफाई करके दे दिया है कि उतना अमाउंट कैन बी विड्रॉन फ्रॉम द RERA designate bank account. So usually unless that particular limit is exhausted, usually banks should not ask for a new certificate.
Sale expenses are out of 70% or 30%?
Sorry, see?
The question is, are sale expenses out of 70% or 30%?
Sale expenses. Sale
Yes,
expenses
sir.
you said.
Yeah,
right?
sales
Okay.
expenses, yes, sir.
Okay, sales expenses are out of 30%.
Next question, can a single registration be used for multiple projects by the same promoter?
Single, sorry, can you repeat?
Yes, sir. Can a single registration be used for multiple projects by the same promoter?
See, RERA registration is project specific, not promoter specific. So a single promoter can have multiple registrations. Okay, so that is possible. It is not a promoter specific.
How is the project completion date determined and updated in the RERA application?
Okay, so जब भी project registration होता है, at that time only promoter has to decide what will be the date by which the promoter is going to complete this project. And promoter को to this effect एक affidavit भी देना पड़ता है in the format of Form B, wherein the promoter has to on the 500 rupees stamp paper which is and an affidavit which is duly notarized, उसमें लिख के देना पड़ता है कि by what time the project is going, the promoter is going to complete the project. Now, what are the criteria that one should look into while deciding this date? This is up to promoter. See, many times it happens कि अगर आपने थोड़ा सा unrealistic date दिया है, तो आजकल लोग वो डेट देख के आते हैं while booking. So आपका जो enquiries है वो सेल्स में कन्वर्ट नहीं होता है. This is also a problem. आपका डेट आज का डेट मतलब डेट बढ़ाने के लिए प्रोविजन है एक्सटेंशन के लिए, बट अगर आपने लेट्स से 2031 का कंप्लीशन डेट दिया है और आपने बोला कि मेरे को 2029 करके चाहिए या 2028 करके चाहिए, उसके लिए प्रोविजन नहीं. दैट कैन नॉट बी डन.
What if no changes in project that is same as per last quarter, then also we need to file Form 3 or declaration is sufficient?
Okay, so in this case, if there are no withdrawals from the RERA designate bank account, 70% वाला जो बैंक अकाउंट है उसमें से कुछ भी withdrawal नहीं है, तो in that case, yes, a declaration shall suffice.
Is there any API integration available for large developers to automate RERA filings?
I am not aware about the same.
Option interest is on which amount? It is on the cost of the flat and for delay. That's the question.
Okay, so जो भी amount, whatever the amount the allotee has paid to the promoter, उस amount पे interest मिलेगा. So let's say जैसा मेरा example था, उस example में 31st March 2025 को promoter was supposed to give possession and promoter fails on that. And on that particular date, let's say the allotee ने 70 lakh rupees जो है वो allotee promoter को दिए हैं. तो 70 lakh पे SBI MCLR rate जो है वो applicable होगा. Now let's say on 1st May further 20 lakh rupees were paid. So from 1st April to 30th April 70 लाख पे इंटरेस्ट होगा, तो विथ इफेक्ट फ्रॉम 1 में वो इंटरेस्ट जो है वो अपने आप 90 लाख पे चला जाएगा। तो वट एवर अमाउंट इज आउटस्टैंडिंग, वट एवर अमाउंट इज पेड बाय द एलओटी, उस अमाउंट पे इंटरेस्ट मिलेगा।
How and based on what proof government would know that how much money promoter received and also money received declared by promoter is the actual amount he received?
Okay, so we are only the professionals that we do certify. We are the eyes and ears of the government, we may say. So फॉर्म 3 जो है सीए सर्टिफिकेट, उसमें ये अमाउंट आती है। एंड सेकंड फॉर्म 5 जो होता है अनदर ऑडिट वाला, जो साल में एक बार देना है, उसमें भी ये अमाउंट्स आती है कि कितने अमाउंट जो है वो साल भर में प्रमोटर ने कलेक्ट किए हैं, उसमें से कितने अमाउंट इज यूटिलाइज्ड ऑन द प्रोजेक्ट, रेरा बैंक अकाउंट के थ्रू कितनी अमाउंट जो है वो रूट की है, नहीं की है। एंड लेट मी टेल यू, ये जो फॉर्म 5 है, दिस फॉर्म 5 इज अ पब्लिक डॉक्यूमेंट। फॉर्म 3 जो है वो पब्लिक डोमेन में नहीं दिखता, बट फॉर्म 5 जो है वो पब्लिक, जो साल में एक बार देना है, वो पब्लिक डोमेन में दिखता है। सो आपको किसी का, मतलब कोई भी डेवलपर का अगर आपको ये फॉर्म देखना है तो वो पब्लिक डोमेन में अवेलेबल है, एनीबडी कैन सी इट, नॉट ओनली गवर्नमेंट।
Okay, sir. How does RERA handle registration for joint ventures or redevelopment projects?
Okay, so there is no other separate process for the projects that are joint ventures या फिर the projects that are rehab, I mean rehab projects. Procedure is one and the same. सिर्फ इसमें ये होगा कि rehab जो कि projects है उसके केस में लैंड ओनर जो है वो अलग हो सकता है, तो लैंड ओनर को अलग से लैंड ओनर का जो क्या बोलते हैं इंफॉर्मेशन है वो सिर्फ एप्लीकेशन में देना पड़ेगा। एंड इफ देयर आर flats that are allocated to the landowner for sale, which can be sold in the open market independently by landowner. In that case, landowner will also have to open the RERA designated bank account. These 3 bank accounts जो मैंने बोला था 170-30, वो landowner को भी open करना। That's so. And in case of joint venture also, yes, अगर joint venture partner के पास independently market में माल बेचने का authority है, तो in that case also, in that case the joint venture partner को जो है उसको भी ये 170-30 वाली जो बैंक अकाउंट है वो ओपन करना चाहिए।
Yes, sir. Next question. When you say expenses by CA should be certified basis books of accounts, expenses are to be considered on accrual basis or actual payment basis?
जो भी बेसिस पे बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट्स मेंटेन किए जाते हैं उसी बेसिस पे, अगर बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट्स आर मेंटेन्ड ऑन एक्रूअल बेसिस, इफ some expense is accounted for though it is not paid, in that case also yes, it has to be considered as an expense.
Someone has asked the consequences of not following the 70:30 rule apart from revocation of registration. Is there any penalty?
See, till date, no, as such, no separate penalty has been imposed on any promoter for not following this 30-70 mechanism. But yes, there can be penalty in the future. See, unless your show is going on, I mean, if you have given the possession to the allottees, in that case, RERA has not seen whether this 30-70 mechanism has been followed or not. But of course, certainly when the developer will fail to give possession to the allottees, and there will be floods of complaints with the RERA authority is certainly going to look into this and is also going to see whether the chartered accountant has rightfully commented upon it and has pointed it out that there are violations of section 412, that is the 70%
Next question. We applied for final OC before project completion date, but OC received after completion date. So we need to obtain extension in this case?
Yes, in this case, extension has to be obtained. This extension type is called as a post facto extension type. So in this case, you need not have any consent from the allottees because you have already got the occupancy certificate. Let's say आपका occupancy certificate जो है वो 30 अप्रैल 2025 को आया है और आपका जो registration था वो 31 मार्च 2025 को expire हो चुका था, तो ये 1 महीने के लिए you have to send an email to the RERA help desk saying that we have already received the OC. OC आपको उसमें attach करना है and post facto extension apply करने के लिए उनसे permission लेनी है, तो आपको पास्ट वाला डेट सिलेक्ट करके एक्सटेंशन एप्लीकेशन आप कर सकते हो वंस दिस इज अप्रूव्ड बाय महारेरा हेल्प डेस्क। एक बार उन्होंने अप्रूव कर दिया तो आप विद द पास्ट डेट, क्योंकि आज की तारीख में आप अगर एक्सटेंशन अप्लाई करें तो पास्ट डेट का एक्सटेंशन आप अप्लाई नहीं कर सकते, बट इन दिस केस वेयर वी हैव रिसीव्ड ओसी, पास्ट डेट का एक्सटेंशन जो है वो अप्लाई हो सकता है, उस प्रकार से वो एक्सटेंशन अप्लाई करना है। अगर आपके पास आपका सभी कंप्लायंसेस एंड एवरीथिंग इज कंप्लीट, इन दैट केस दिस एक्सटेंशन विल बी ग्रांटेड।
Why do we need separate agent registration under RERA when we already have registered the project, and what is the role of agent in this?
Okay. So see, agents are eyes and ears of the developer. You may say that. So अगर कुछ भी promises जो developer को नहीं करनी है या नहीं fulfill करनी है, वो allot agents के through जो है वो दी जा सकती है या किया जा सकता है. इसके लिए एजेंट्स को भी कुछ रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज कास्ट करके दी थी कि उन्होंने भी जो भी चीजें रेरा रजिस्ट्रेशन में है वही चीजें अलॉटीज को बता के उनको फ्लैट बेचना है. तो ऐसा ना कल जाके अगर ऐसा होता है कि अलॉटी रेरा अथॉरिटी में जाता है, बोलते मेरे को बोला था कि इसमें क्लब हाउस है और स्विमिंग पूल है, इसलिए मैंने ये प्रोजेक्ट खरीद, इसलिए मैंने यहाँ पे फ्लैट खरीदा था, बट यहाँ पे तो ये है ही नहीं. एंड देन प्रमोटर इज फ्री टू से कि ये मैंने बोला ही नहीं था, वो एजेंट ने बोला रहेगा तो एजेंट को पकड़ो, ही मे गो ऑन स्कॉट फ्री. सो ऐसा ना हो उसके लिए एजेंट को भी इस केस में पकड़ना है. या फिर एजेंट बोलते हैं कि ये रेरा अथॉरिटी ने बोला है कि डेट जो है वो 31 मई 2027 है, बट मैं आपको तो 1 साल में पोजीशन दे दूंगा. और अगर प्रमोटर को पूछा जाए तो बोला मैंने थोड़ी बोला था, वो तो एजेंट ने बोला था. ऐसा ना हो. Responsibility must be fixed to someone. इसके लिए agents has to get registered with the RERA authority. Let me tell you about the applicability. ये थोड़ा सा cover नहीं हुआ because of constraint of time. Applicability जो है, those agents which deal into rentals, I mean रेंट पे जो घर देना है या कमर्शियल प्रीमाइसेस देने, उसमें जो डील करते हैं उनको ये एप्लीकेबल नहीं है. इवन दोज एजेंट्स हु डील विद सेकंड सेल, दैट इज सेकंड सेल मतलब रीसेल जिसको बोलते हैं, ऐसा प्रोजेक्ट जिसका ओसी आ चुका है जहाँ पे ऑलरेडी लोग रह रहे हैं और वो लोग अभी फ्लैट बेचने के लिए जा रहे हैं, और ऐसे सेल जो फैसिलिटेट कर रहे हैं, ऐसे एजेंट्स को भी रेरा इज नॉट एप्लीकेबल. रेरा इज ओनली एप्लीकेबल टू दोज एजेंट्स हु डील इनटू अंडर कंस्ट्रक्शन प्रोजेक्ट.
Some promoters are not maintaining escrow account, then how to deal with it while certification of Form 3 and Form 5? It is a practical issue for this.
Okay, so in such cases where the separate escrow account is not maintained, and as even Chairman Sir pointed out in the initial address, saying that the general bank account is only given as a RERA bank account. So see, this type of cases जो है, ऐसे cases बहुत कम हो जाएंगे अभी, क्योंकि अभी तो बैंक से भी सर्टिफिकेट लेना कंपलसरी है कि कौन सा रेरा बैंक अकाउंट इज अ सेपरेट या फिर एस्क्रो बैंक अकाउंट. जो पास्ट केसेस है जहां जब ये पर्टिकुलर प्रोविजन एप्लीकेबल नहीं थी, इन दैट केस व्हाइल सर्टिफाइंग, यस यू देयर इज अ टेबल जी में आप यू कैन पुट योर कमेंट्स एज फार एज फॉर्म 3 इज कंसर्न. तो टेबल जी में डिस्क्लोजर या फिर कमेंट या क्वालिफिकेशन दिया जा सकता है कि जो जनरल बैंक अकाउंट है जहाँ पे अदर देन अलॉटी का जो पैसा है वो those money is also credited and it is not an escrow bank account, and promoter is advised to open escrow bank account with the RERA authority as per the order number 56 of the RERA authority. And even in form number 5 में भी ये comment जो है उसमें भी comment के लिए अलग से टेबल है, टेबल सी, उसमें ये टेबल, उसमें ये comment दी जा सकती है.
So we'll be taking a last question. It's a long question for you. This is regarding the query of a bank not providing checkbook or net banking facility. How is the promoter going to do transaction from the 70% designated bank account? Whether the only option available then is to transfer the amount from 70% to 30% bank account as per the limit mentioned in Form 3. In that case, all the expenses will be required to made from 30% bank account, whether it is construction related or sales promotion related.
Okay. I would request you, Ms. Ashi, to read the question one by one. I mean, there are 3-4 questions
Yes,
in one
sir.
question.
Yes,
you read
sir.
one question, I'll give the answer of that
Yes,
question.
sir. Yes, sir. This is regarding not providing checkbook or not net banking facility. How is the promoter going to do a transaction from the 70% designated bank account?
Okay. So, इसका जो जवाब है वो next question में वो पढ़िए.
Okay, sir. Whether the only option available then is to transfer the amount from 70% to 30% bank account?
Yes, that's the only option available. Yes.
In that case, all the expenses will be required to be made from 30% bank account, whether it's construction related.
Yes.
Okay.
Question done? हो गया?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you so much for patiently addressing all the queries, sir. Now like to invite Ms. Purva to deliver the vote of thanks.
Thank you so much, sir. So, hi, friends. A very good evening to everyone. We have kept our theme for Gyan Yagna as knowledge beyond borders. And today's session, I believe, absolutely justifies this theme as we got to have an interaction with RERA as an out-of-the-box subject today. Indeed, I would say this session has been in its truest sense absolutely enriching and insightful for all of us. On behalf of the entire organizing committee, it is my absolute honor to deliver this exceptional vote of thanks for today's event. First and foremost, I extend our deepest gratitude to the visionary leaders of WIRC. Thank you to CA Ketan Sayya sir, Chairman of WIRC, for your constant encouragement and for championing initiatives that empower the next generation of chartered accountants. In absentia, a heartfelt thanks to CA Piyush Chandak sir, Vice Chairman of WIRC, CA Jinal Savla ma'am, Secretary of WIRC, CA Fenil Shah sir, Treasurer of WIRC, for their valuable contributions to our student fraternity. A special thank you to all the WRC Regional Council members for being the guiding force behind such meaningful student-centric events. We are also immensely thankful to CA Jitendra Saglani sir, Chairman of WICASA, for his consistent support, vision and dedication towards our student development. Now, to the star speaker of today's session, CA Sumit Kapure sir. A heartfelt thank you to you, sir, for your brilliant and deeply informative session on registration process under RERA. Your ability to simplify the concepts and present them with such clarity is truly commendable. We are grateful for the practical insights you shared and the valuable knowledge we carry forward. A huge shout out to all the coordinators and team members who work tirelessly behind the scenes to make this event seamless. And of course, to our wonderful audience. Thank you for your enthusiasm, attention, and active participation. Events like this become meaningful because of your involvement. Let us now move forward, enriched by today's learning. In the continuity of this Gyan Yagna series, we have a seminar on 22nd of May, that is tomorrow, on post-registration compliance under RERA. Hope to see you all for the seminar tomorrow as well. Thank you once again and wishing you all the very best on your journey ahead. Thank you, everyone.
I don't know, sir.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Sumit sir, thank you so much. And unfortunately, थोड़ा यहाँ पे भी कुछ चल रहा था. I was busy here, but on and off I was connected. So thank you so much once again.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.